This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maham and I crochet cute things. Before I get into this video, let me just show you this adorable cardigan I'm wearing. It's the Reputation cardigan from Tay Merch. Thank you so much for sending it to me. If you guys are interested in checking out some of the other cardigans she has on her website, I've put the link in the description box. Today we're adding to my pencil case collection with two new designs. I've got one inspired by ballerinas and the coquette aesthetic, and then another inspired by the folklore cardigan. I just want to let you guys know that this isn't absolute beginner friendly. However, if you are an intermediate beginner or an advanced beginner, you'll be able to make this because I've made the pattern super customizable and as easy as possible. I also wanted to address some of your questions since our community is made up of a lot of crafters and knitters and crocheters who have their own small businesses or online stores. I just wanted to let you know that it's completely okay for you to use my patterns and tutorials to create pieces and then sell them for your business, as long as you tag me as the original pattern creator or give me credit for inspiration if you took some. Adding on to that, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about today's sponsor, which is Squarespace, and some of the amazing features and tools that they have that you can use to create your business and build your online presence. With Squarespace, you can design and create your dream website all by yourself by simply selecting one of the beautifully designed templates and then making it your own, whether you want to start a blog, create a personal CV, or launch a business. With a huge range of various and customizable, easy-to-use templates, you can start your online store or business to sell digital and physical products. This all-in-one platform also has member areas that you can use to connect with your audience and generate revenue through gated, members-only content. You could also add a portfolio or gallery of your work using Squarespace's professional portfolio designs and even add password-protected pages. So if you'd like to create a website of your own, I highly recommend that you head to squarespace.com and try it out for yourself with a free trial. And once you're ready to launch, you can use the link in the description box to save 10% off of your first purchase of a domain or website. I want to start by explaining how this is going to work just to make it easier for you guys to follow along to the tutorial. We're going to be making a really long piece that's twice as long as the size you want your pencil case to be. Once we have this super long piece, we're just going to fold it in half and then join the sides together to get the size for the pencil case. For all of the pencil cases, I'm going to be using a 4.5mm hook and 100% acrylic yarn. I like using acrylic yarn for accessories. It's super sturdy. We're going to start by making a slip knot. There's many different ways to do this, but this is how I like to do it. And then you're going to pull and just tighten it and then bring your slip knot closer to where your hook is. Now we're going to be chaining the width that you want for your pencil case. So go ahead and just grab the yarn and pull it through. Just realized that I forgot to clarify what the width is. So this over here is the width and this over here is the height. I went ahead and I did 16 chains. Now over here you can do as many chains as you want. You can make your pencil case any width and height. It's completely customizable and there's no specific pattern that you have to follow. However, if you do want to make your pencil case the exact same size as mine, I always have the written patterns up on my blog and the link is in the description box. You're ready to start your first row. You're going to do your turning chain, which doesn't count towards your stitch. It's just a little chain that helps us start our first row. You're going to skip the first chain and you're going to insert your hook into the second chain from your hook like that, and then you're going to insert a single crochet. So pull up a loop and then yarn over and pull through both loops, and that is your first single crochet of the row. Now go ahead and insert your hook into all of the chains, inserting a single crochet in every chain until you reach the end of this row. Once you've inserted a single crochet in all of the chains, this is what you should have, and it's completely normal for your work to curl like this. Don't worry about it curling because it's going to stop curling as you do more rows. Now to start a new row, these are the steps that you're going to do every single time you want to start a new row. You're going to chain one, and this chain one is just your turning chain. It doesn't count as a stitch. Then you're going to turn your work and you're going to insert your hook into the first single crochet of the row. So that's your chain one, and this is the very first single crochet of your row. You're going to insert your hook into it like that, and then you're going to insert another single crochet to start your second row. Now go ahead and insert your hook through all of the stitches and insert a single crochet in each one. And you're going to do this until you reach the end of the row. Then you're going to start another row and you're going to keep going until you have the height that you want for your pencil case. If you're a beginner, it would help if you kept track of the number of stitches that you have in each row, because I know sometimes you can accidentally miss one and then your pencil case might get smaller, bigger, smaller, bigger. So what you're going to do is you're just going to count your stitches at the end of each row and make sure you still have the same number that you started with. I'm going to start my next row, and I'm just going to keep on making the rows until I have the height that I want. And I'm going to come back once I've got both my pieces ready. Once you've crocheted as many rows as you want, just fold your piece in half, and this is the size that you will get for your pencil case. And then go ahead and grab your bobby pin and place your bobby pin in the last row to mark the end of the body of your pencil case. To make the flap, you're just going to repeat what you've been doing previously. You're just going to keep crocheting rows of single crochet until you get the size that you want for the flap. You can do 4 to 5 rows, you can do 3 to 5 rows. It's completely up to you depending on how big you want your flap to be. I'm going to show you really quickly how this works. So you've got your long piece and you've got your bobby pin marking the place where your body ends. So you fold your piece to where the bobby pin is, and then all the rows that come after the bobby pin are your flap, which you'll fold down like this. I've done around 6 rows, and now in the very last row we're going to be doing 2 decreases on the side to give our pencil case this nice curved edge. To make the curved edge, don't chain one when you're starting your next row. Instead, directly just turn your work and then skip the first stitch and go into the second stitch over there and make a single crochet like that, and then go ahead and just single crochet into all of the other stitches until you've got only 2 stitches left over here. When you've got only 2 stitches left, you're going to skip this one and single crochet into the last one to make a decrease, and make sure that you're making the single crochet super tight so you don't have any annoying holes in it. If you want to do another row of decreases, turn your work without chaining one. Skip this first stitch and go into the second one and just make your single crochet. So that way, look, it goes in even more. And then single crochet into all of the other stitches until you've got 2 left. Once you've got 2 stitches, you're going to skip this one and go into the next one. Make sure your single crochet is super tight so you don't have any annoying holes in your work. And like that, you're gonna get an even more curved edge, and it's completely normal for your work to have sort of these like bumps in it or to curl inwards because you are pulling your stitches in even tighter. Just stretch it out and it should be fine. Now, do not fasten this off. We're going to be making the clasp that goes around our bow from the same yarn, so don't fasten off, just keep it aside. This is my very, very rough interpretation of how to make the bow. It's got 2 pieces. It's got 1 flat piece, and then it's going to have a back piece, these folding things that basically go down and give it the shape of a bow. And the shape and size is completely up to you. If you want to make your bow bigger, just do more stitches. If you want to make it longer, again, just do more stitches than what I'm going to do. We're going to get started by making this piece over here. And start off with a slip knot, just a regular slip knot. And then you're going to chain however long you want your bow to be. I'm going to do 7 chains. And then go ahead and do 1 extra turning chain, which doesn't count as a stitch, it's just there to help us turn. Skip it and then single crochet into the second chain from your hook. And then go ahead and single crochet into every chain down the row. Then we're going to start another row to make our bow a little bit thicker. So chain 1, turn your work, insert your hook into the first stitch, not the chain, and single crochet into every stitch down the row. And there you've got your piece for the bow. So mine's going to be pretty small, and when I'm tying it in the middle, it's just going to get tighter and it's going to give me this sort of like bow shape. Once you're done, you can just fasten off. I'm simply going to chain 2, get my scissor, cut, pull, and tighten. Once again, just start off with a slip knot and chain the length that you want. I've done 11 chains, and then you're going to do your turning chain, single crochet into the second chain from your hook, and then go ahead and single crochet into every chain down the row. For this piece, I'm only going to be doing 1 row because I want it to be thinner than my bow. Once you've got this piece, you can either do more rows if you want it to be thicker, or just fasten off like I'm going to over here by chaining 2, cut, pull and tighten. Now we're going to secure everything in place before we make the piece for the center. So go ahead and grab whatever yarn color you're using. Just cut a little piece off and then line up your pieces like so and tie a knot with this other piece. I always feel like such a clumsy troll. My fingers feel huge whenever I'm trying to make a knot. And then you just tighten it really tight. Now you're just gonna adjust it. What I'm doing here is making things even easier for myself and tying a knot at the back too and making it even tighter so that when I make the other piece I don't have to work so much on holding everything in place. You're gonna make a slip knot and then you're gonna chain a really small piece of chain just to make sure everything stays nice and tight, and then you're gonna wrap this in the center. I'm just gonna, maybe if I hold it this way, and then I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but I'm holding it this way and I am pushing my hook through the back. And I'm gonna speed this part up so you don't have to watch me struggle, but I just want to show you guys that it is a tricky thing to do and you're not the only one struggling. If this isn't tight, then the shape of your bow will not be what you wanted it to be. Okay, there. Just gonna use my nail to tuck this. We've almost got it. There we go. And now you're just gonna slip stitch. So you grab your yarn and you're gonna pull it through both the loops on your hook. My life flashed before my eyes when my hook accidentally slipped off and this thing almost came undone. But I've got it. This is what your piece should look like now. Doesn't that look so much better than that flimsy knot? And now you can fasten this off by chaining two, just like we always do. I'm going to cut a slightly longer piece so I can use this piece to tie in my work to the pencil case. Pull and tighten it. Next, I want you to go ahead and attach your bow onto where your flap ends, so directly below the flap, really close together. I want to attach my bow right over here. I'm just going to hold on to it. I'm going to insert my hook through any stitch that I see that is close to where I want my bow to be attached. So I like this one over here. I'm just going to insert it. And now I'm going to grab onto the ends that I have over here. And I'm going to pull this end through. I'm just going to grab onto this and pull it through that stitch. And like that. And then I'm going to get the other end that I have over here and pull it through whatever stitch is closest as well, making sure that it's centered. Just grab onto it and pull it through. So you've got your two ends here, and when you pull them, your bow is attached to your piece. Before you tie your knot or anything, make sure that your flap can easily open and close and be tucked into your bow. Once everything looks good, you can just tie a knot in the back to secure your bow in place. You could cut these ends off, or you could also just tuck them into the inside of your pencil case if that's something that you want to do. So you just get your hook and pull it through. If you don't want to cut it, if you think that won't be secure, this is another way that you could hide your ends. And there you go, your bow's all attached. Next, we're going to be slip stitching till over here, making a chain that will go around our bow and slip stitching back to end our work for the flap. End it on a decrease. I'm just gonna turn my work, do not chain one. Instead, I'm just gonna slip stitch over here into, so look, I skipped that stitch. I'm gonna go into this one, just slip stitch like so. And now you're going to need to constantly be looking at your flap as you're doing the next step. You're just going to chain. So go ahead and chain the number of chains that you need until it can wrap around your bow. So you've got your bow and you need to chain enough so that it can wrap under your bow. And then once you've got that length, you're just going to slip stitch back over here at the end of your work, like that. And then I'm just going to chain two and fasten off, but I'm just going to show you what it'll look like first. So you've got this chain, and you use this chain to basically close up your pencil case by tucking your bow, or using your bow as sort of like a clasp. I'm just trying to be super careful with it, but there you go. Now your flap just stays in place and you don't need any stitch button. Now go ahead and fold up your piece and attach a bobby pin to both sides, and now we're going to be making the ruffled edge all around. To attach your yarn, insert your hook through both the pieces. Make sure that they're neatly aligned when you're inserting your hook, and then make a little loop with the color that you want to use for your ruffles, and slide it through both those loops. Make sure everything's nice and aligned. Chain 1 to secure it in place and tighten. So please excuse these gigantic holes in my work. I was practicing the ruffles to make sure they looked okay before I showed you guys how to make them, and it kind of stretched out my stitches a little bit. So ignore the place where you attach your yarn and go into the next stitch. So you have to insert your hook through both the pieces near the edge like so. And now in every area, or in every, well, let's call this a stitch, in every stitch you're going to be inserting 4 single crochets each. So this kind of works like an increase. So as you insert 4 single crochets in each space, they're going to get clustered together and form the ruffles. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4 in this space. I'm going to go into my next space and insert 4 single crochets there as well. And yes, this is going to stretch out your piece a little bit, but not as much as mine has, because I did insert way too many stitches into it to test which one looked the best. That's the gist of it. You just go ahead and insert 4 single crochets in every space. Do whatever you think looks best, and if you don't like the ruffles and you want just a plain border, you could do just 1 single crochet in every space. You're going to see your ruffles forming. Just press them and lift them if you don't see them coming up, and adjust them as necessary. As you go down the row, you're going to notice that your work is curling like this. This is completely normal. It's because the ruffles are taking up a lot of space and forcing your work to curl. When you do the ruffles on this side, it is going to balance itself out, but until then, you can keep on stretching your work and then pushing your ruffles closer together. And there you should have your ruffles. Now we're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. Just passing off my work over here. We're going to be attaching it at the bottom rather than the top, and insert my hook right over there. And then we're going to make a loop with our yarn, slide it through, and then chain 1 to secure it in place. You could also just make a knot. So we're going to go ahead and just insert 4 single crochets, and I'm just going to work over this end as well so I don't have to weave it in later. And it's the same thing that we were doing on the other side. We just started from a different place. I just wanted to assure all of you that your work will go back to its normal state and won't stay that curve that it was. All you need to do, so look, I'm going to fix this. All you need to do is stretch out your stitches and push your ruffles closer together. Just going to do 1 single crochet rather than a ruffle, because remember over here we only chained 1 to attach our work. Now we're going to fasten this off, but I just want to show you how to stretch out your work. It's going to be really crumpled up like this. You're just going to lay it flat, pull from the sides, and then push your ruffles together. Going to be making this really beautiful textured piece over here, and I do want to start off by saying that yes, this does have holes in it, but when you make the back piece, they're not going to be as noticeable as they are right now. There's a very clear right side where your texture is going to be, and then there's going to be a wrong side. Start by making a slip knot. This is how I like to do mine. Oh, and I forgot to mention that I recommend using a 4 or 5 millimeter hook for this project. I'm using a 4.5, which is right in between. Go ahead and chain 18. We're going to skip these 3 chains over here, and we're going to double crochet into your 4th chain. So to double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook into the 4th chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2. So now you've got 2 double crochets. So your chain 3, this one that we skipped, counts as your first double crochet. This is your second double crochet. Now go ahead and insert 1 double crochet into every chain down the row. So at the end of this row, you should have a total of 16 double crochets, including the chain 3 that you made at the beginning. So we're going to start a new row, and every time that we start a new row, I like just chaining 1. This is called a turning chain, and it's just there to help you start a new row. It doesn't count as a stitch. Then you're going to turn your work, and you're going to double crochet into the first 2 stitches over there. So yarn over, insert your hook, and just double crochet into those 2 stitches. Now we're going to be starting our first texture. Now this pattern alternates between a right side and a wrong side. So right now we're working on the right side, and the right side includes front post stitches. So these are your stitches. We're not going to be working into those for the textures. We're going to be working into these right over here. So a front post is when you insert your hook from the front and pick up the stitch like this. That's a front post. So we're going to be working front post right now. So you're going to yarn over 2 times like a triple crochet. You're going to skip this one over here and you're going to front post the other one. So go down and pick up the stitch with your hook and then triple crochet. So pull up a loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, like a triple crochet. Now you're going to yarn over again, and then you're going to triple crochet into this. So front post, and then triple crochet. Pull through 2, like that. Now we're done with the first 2 double crochets, and we're done with our first 2 front post. Now in the next 2 stitches, we're going to be inserting 1 double crochet each. So double crochet, and double crochet into the next stitch. So after every texture piece, we do 2 double crochets. We're going to be starting the texture piece that involves these 4 stitches, starting from here till here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now the pattern for this is going to be 3, 4, 1, 2. So you're going to start by front posting 3, then 4, then 1, then 2. So let's do this together. Yarn over twice, get ready for your triple crochet, and front post the 3rd stitch. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4. Grab it and just triple crochet. Now we're going to do this one, the 4th one, the one that comes after the 3rd one. And then we're going to do this first one right here. Sorry, make sure you're holding onto your piece tightly. And then we're going to do the second one that kind of gets covered. So look, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're doing the second one now. That is the order that we do for this piece. And there we go. Now we're going to double crochet into the next 2 stitches. You're just going to double crochet. Now we've got to make, I'm just going to stretch this out a little bit. And now we're going to make this one again over here. So yarn over twice, go into the 2nd front post, and triple crochet. And then the first one that you skipped. So everything involves stitch counts. So there are 3 texture pieces in this. So this one has a stitch count of 2, meaning you're working with only 2 stitches. This one has a stitch count of 4, meaning that involves 4 stitches in total. And then this one's a 2 again. Now we're just going to double crochet into our last 2 stitches. So this one over here. And then remember that your chain 3 also counts as a stitch, so you're gonna double crochet into that as well. Just find the chain, insert your hook into it, which is gonna be really tricky, and then just double crochet. And that should be the end of your first row. Now we're going to be starting the back row, which is back post. So chain 1, always start your row like this. Turn your work and then double crochet into the first 2 stitches. Please ignore your chain 1, it's just there to help you start a new row. So you're going to double crochet into the first 2 stitches. And now we've got our back side. Now the way that this works is we're going to be doing a back post instead of a front post. A back post works like this. So you've got your stitches in front. You're always going to start by back posting the one that's on top or the one that's connected to the stitch after your double crochet. So whatever stitch comes first. that's the one that you're gonna back post first. So in the back row, we're not going to be triple crocheting, we're just going to be double crocheting. Yarn over just like a double crochet, and you're going to back post this first stitch over there. So I don't know how to what the best way to show you is, but you're basically just going to go down and pick up the stitch on your hook like that, and then you're going to double crochet like that. And now we've got to do this one over here. So we did the first one, now we're doing the second one, because remember this texture piece has 2 stitches involved. We've got to back post both of them. So yarn over, insert your hook. I'm going to show you this angle now. You're going to go in, look like that, and then you're going to grab on to the piece. So it's going to be on your hook like this, and then you're going to double crochet like that. So that is what your back post is like, and that's the texture it makes. Now double crochet into the next 2 stitches, and 2. Now the next one is a little bit trickier to understand, but the way that I like to do it, because when I first started, it was my first time and I was super confused too, so here's how I understood it. When you're making it, you have to start with the ones that are on top. So you're gonna do 1, 2, and then you're going to do 3 and 4. So that's the order it's going to be. Or you could look at it with whatever stitch is first, that's the one you're going to back post. So this stitch comes first, so you're going to back post this one. Oh, sorry. First back post, second back post, third back post, and fourth back post. So yarn over, grab onto the stitch, and then double crochet. Yarn over, grab onto the other stitch. So come in, go out, and grab onto it, and then double crochet. Now we're going to do these 2, yarn over, back post, grab onto it. Please make sure that you're doing this in the right order, otherwise your texture won't turn out the same. Now we've got our last one over here, which is the farthest one. Just gonna back post that as well, grab onto it, and double crochet. Now we're gonna double crochet into the next 2 stitches. And then we're going to back post our very last texture piece. So once again, whatever stitch is first, that's the one that's first, so we're going to back post this first one over here, yarn over, grab onto it, double crochet, and then we're going to do the second one over here. So grab onto it, back post, and double crochet. Now we're going to double crochet into the next 2 stitches. I hope I'm not going too fast. If I am, please feel free to slow the video down. And there we go. Now we've got our back piece, our back side, and our front side. And you're going to start to see your texture forming. So whenever you turned to this side, your right side, here's what you're going to do. Hi. Hello. So we're going to do our front row, then you're going to do back row, and then you're going to keep on alternating between front row, back row, back row, and you're just going to keep doing the same steps over and over again to get the size that you want. Let's do our front row first. So to start the next row, chain 1, turn your work. Now we're turned to the front side, so we're going to do the steps for the front row. So you're going to double crochet into the first 2 stitches, and then we're going to front post triple crochet. So remember, you skip 1 and you front post triple crochet the second one first, and then you front post triple crochet the one that you skipped. And now you're going to double crochet into the next 2 stitches. My cat's just respectfully waiting for me to finish. Baby Chai. Now we're going to be doing this piece over here. So you're going to follow the pattern 3, 4, 1, 2. 3, 4, 1, 2. So we're going to front post triple crochet the third one first. Grab onto it. Oh, make sure that your loops don't get stuck into your previous stitches like mine just did. Don't know if you saw that, but the correct way to do it is to just go at the top and grab only the top of it like this, and then triple crochet. Now yarn over 2 times. Now we're going to do the fourth one. I'm trying to grab onto them as slowly as I can so you can see exactly where my hook is headed. Now we've done 3, 4. Now we have to do 1 and then 2. So grab onto 1. And now we're going to do 2, which is always going to be hidden, so you have to push it out to find it. This one right over there. It gets hidden because of the other stitches that we do around it. And there we go. Double crocheting into the next 2 stitches. Now we're going to be doing this one again, so you do 2 and then you do 1. So you do the second one first, you skip this and you go into that one. Sorry, my cats are just making a fuss in the background. And then we're going to do this one that we skipped. And now we're going to do double crochet into your last 2 stitches. If your double crochets are very loose, then you're going to have even bigger holes, so try to keep an even tension between all of them. And this is what you should have so far. I think he just wanted to say hi to you guys. Say hi, Coco. Here is my finished piece. I'm going to use this for the front part of my pencil case. You're just going to fasten off your work once you have the size that you want. And then pull, do tighten, and then you're done with the front piece. Start with a slip knot. And then go ahead and chain the same number that we did over here to, I think that was 18. Once you're done with that, you're going to chain 1, which is your turning chain, and then you're going to single crochet into the second chain from your row. Skip this one, go into that one, and single crochet. To make a single crochet, you insert your hook into the chain, pull up a loop, and then yarn over, pull through both loops. Now go ahead and insert 1 single crochet into every chain. To start a new row, you're going to do the same steps. You're going to chain 1, turn your work, skip the chain, and start your next row from that first stitch, the single crochet. And now go ahead and insert 1 single crochet into every stitch. And you're going to do rows of single crochet until this back piece is the same size as your front piece. So here is my long piece. Now make your piece long enough so that it's the same size as your front piece, and you've got a few extra rows over here so that you can fold them to make your flap. Now I'm going to be doing 2 more rows but with some decreases on the side so I can get a nice curved edge over here. Where you've ended your last row, you're not going to chain 1. Instead, you're going to turn your work directly and you're going to skip that first stitch and single crochet into the second stitch over here, making a decrease. And now just single crochet into every stitch until you've got 2 stitches left at the end of this row. Now over here I've got 2 stitches left, so I'm going to skip this one and single crochet into the last one, making another decrease. Now we're going to do our next row of decreases, so don't chain 1, just directly turn your work to the other side. Skip that first stitch, single crochet into the second stitch. Make sure your stitches are tight so you get that decreased shape. and then single crochet into every stitch until you've got 2 stitches left. I've got 2 stitches left. I'm going to skip this one and single crochet into that one, making sure everything's nice and tight. And there you go. I'm just going to show you what the curved edge looks like now. This is what it's going to look like when you close your pencil case. And now we're going to take our star and we're going to place it right in the middle over here. Next, I'm going to show you how to make a small star. For this, I'm using a 3.5mm hook. So go ahead and just get a smaller size hook. If I'm making a magic ring, I know this is tricky, but bear with me. So just hold on to it. Wrap it around your finger, making sort of like an X shape. Insert your hook, grab onto this, and twist it up. Then grab onto the end over here and pull it through, making a chain like that. Now you've got your magic ring. Now we're going to be repeating the following pattern 5 times by inserting that pattern into our magic ring. So a total of 5 times to get 5 points for the star. And here's the start of the pattern. You're going to single crochet, and then you're going to double crochet. Pay attention to how I'm holding on to my magic ring if you're having trouble keeping everything organized. And then you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to insert another double crochet. And that is the pattern that you're going to be repeating 4 more times to get a total of 5 points for the star. But one more time, let's do the pattern together. Single crochet, double crochet, oops, sorry, and then chain 2, and then insert another double crochet. And there we go. Go ahead and do this 3 more times. As you're working, please make sure to keep pushing these stitches close together, because now we're going to take our end of the magic ring and we're going to pull it really tight to close everything up. So pull, and that is what you should have. Now to end your work, you're just going to slip stitch into this little chain over there. So just insert your hook into it. It's going to be a bit tricky. It's going to be super tight. And then slip stitch to basically just end up your work. You're just going to fasten off. I like doing this by chaining 2. Get your scissor, cut it, leave a bit of a long end because we're going to be attaching it onto our pencil case afterwards. And when I'm tightening, I like tightening it backwards so that I still have this point over here. Get bobby pin, line up your work, make sure everything's aligned, edges are right, and then take your bobby pin and place it through the stitches, well, the edges, just to hold everything in place. Then get the color that you want to use for the border. You can use the same white color if you don't want a black border. You're going to attach your yarn on this side over here. Just place your hook through the edge of both the pieces and then make a little loop with the yarn that you're going to be using, like that. And then pull the loop through. Now just hold it tight and chain 1, and then tighten the chain as tight as you can make it. Be slip stitching all around over here to make a border and to fasten off our star. I'm going to show you how. So just insert your hook into the edge and slip stitch. So wherever you can find a space to insert your hook and slip stitch like that. So over here, this is what it's going to look like. Try to make it as straight as you can. Let me just explain what we're going to do next. You're going to have your star and we're going to attach it right where the flap touches. So right over here in the center. And then we're going to chain a length that goes around the star, comes back over here, and then continue slip stitching. So go ahead and attach your star. You can sew it on or you can use the method that I used for the bow. I finished my slip stitches till here. I'm leaving a bit of space for the star, and now I'm going to chain the length that can go around the star. And then you can test this out. So you can move this under the star and then see if it can come back over here. And this is your chain, and then you just slip stitch back onto that stitch, and then this chain is what you can use as the clasp for your pencil case. So it just comes on and off. Sorry, my like that. So on and then off, on and then off. So over here I've got my chain, and then this is where I slip stitched it. So I'm just going to show you what I did. I had my chain, and then you're just going to go into the stitch and slip stitch. And now go ahead and slip stitch till you're back over here. What I've done here is that when I was slip stitching on this side, I just continued slip stitching over here where I slipped my hook through both the pieces to attach them together, similar to what we did over here. So now what you're going to do is you're just going to slip stitch all the way around until you come back over there. I'm just going to show you how to do it. So what I did over there is that I took my hook and I inserted it through the edge of both the pieces like that, and then you just slip stitch normally like you've been doing. So then slip it through both the pieces, make sure you get both of them, and then slip stitch. I'm just going to fasten this off. And I'm only going to do black on the sides, and to join this together I'm going to use white yarn. So let's just fasten this off. I'm just going to insert my hook through the edges and then make a little loop. This is how you're going to attach your black on the other side as well. And I'm just going to slide it through. And if you want to make it extra secure, instead of making a loop, you could also just make a knot like that, and then you could tuck this in and then insert your hook into that same place and pull up a loop, and then just go ahead and slip stitch. Since both the yarn colors are white, these slip stitches won't show, they'll become kind of invisible. And just slip stitch all the way to the end over here. Now I'm going to show you how to seamlessly attach your black over here. So go ahead and insert your hook into the stitch where you were going to slip stitch next, but instead of completing it with white, get your black, and instead of pulling in the white, just pull in the black instead, like that. Just pull a little bit. Leave these ends over here. I'm going to show you what to do with them afterwards. And then now you can just slip stitch. So insert your hook through both the pieces like you were doing on the other side, same steps as before, and just slip stitch. So look at that, now you can do your black border all the way over there. Cut off the white end and just tie it into a knot with the black over here. So right here, just take the ends that you have and tie the white into a knot to secure it into the black, like that. I'm just going to take this and I'm going to slide it through this space over here to make them the same on both sides. So just get your hook, push it in, push it, almost got it, and then grab your black, not your white, grab your black, pull it through like that, and then just adjust it to make it look like it's going straight like on the other side. Once you're done, you're just going to chain 2 to fasten your work off, and you can tie it with this one over here just to make them extra secure. And then you can either weave your ends in or just tuck them into your pencil case. If you want, you could also make more stars and attach them around your pencil case for some added decor, and there you go.